playoffs. This week on the Barely Stable podcast, we're going to talk about different ways to settle a tie score at the end of a tournament.
Late call on a foot fault? Is that a turd move? That and...
Ooh, it says here, anyone can learn to toss a disc and with little practice, improve rapidly. What happened to you, Freeberg? We'll talk about leagues and even more on This Week, Barely Stable. Welcome to Barely Stable, an intermediate level podcast.
Hosted by Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr. Produced by Daniel Rigdon. Studio engineer, Trevor Williamson. A cool disc golf podcast for intermediate players.
Live from beautiful Austin, Texas, this is the Barely Stable Podcast. We're ready to BS. Here are your Barely Stable hosts, Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr.
Got us with the oop-de-oop.
He did. He did a little oop-de-oop from Mr. Rigdon today.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? We're here, Barely Stable Podcast, episode 18 here.
Baby.
Back as always, I'm Nick Barr. Here with me, as always, Mr. Daniel Rigdon. Back in the booth. But Mr. Freeberg is right here to my right. I know who everyone is. We've done this before. We've all met.
Yeah. We're friends.
So what's up, man? We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about a handful of things. One, we all play in a great league here in Austin, Texas. It's the Waterloo Zilker League. And it's something that happens at Zilker Park, one of the nation's, and I do mean nation's, most popular disc golf course. I don't think there's another course in America that gets played more than Zilker Park via UDisc.
That's what I was saying. The UDisc traffic on that one. And it's really a testament to how good the course is. Because it's a pitch and putt. It's not a super hard course. You know,
I'll be honest with you, I was hating on Zilker a little bit over maybe the off season. I think we had been playing a lot of Sprinkle and Roy G and Met Center even, and it was like Zilker. And the first couple of weeks of league, I kind of just brought I don't say bullshit bags, but one night I brought the black bag, another night I brought just like the little satchel. And Zilker requires respect. It does. It is a little pitch and putt, but you got to throw a bunch of shape shots. It's longer than you think in different areas. The elevation plays a little bit more. The wind is always an issue. Zilkers are fun. So Waterloo, which is a local disc golf group, heralded by Gordon Kelly, he basically puts on the league every week. Yep. Not necessarily trying to do a big shout out to him. The league's already full. The summer one, though, doesn't necessarily fill up because it's hot as HE double hockey sticks out there. Shout out YouTube for not swearing in the first 5 minutes.
We'll still be there.
We'll absolutely
really hard
do in the spring. I did it the last few years in the summer, and I actually like the summer a little bit better because it's always at the end of the night, so it's cooling down. And by the time it's done, you can just go jump in Barton Springs when you're done and cool off. It's kind of awesome. It's really the best part about Zilker Park when you play during the summer anyways. Like, if you play in the morning, they can kind of beat the heat, but the last, maybe 4 or 5 holes, it's already getting up to 90, 100 degrees. You just let it, keep it coming, and then you just get as hot as hell, jump in the car, over to the Springs and jump in. Lola probably did that maybe 50 times last year. It was her favorite thing. She would jump out of the window of the car as we pulled in the parking lot and just start going down the path to get down to the Springs. She's pretty good at it. The part where it kind of waterfalls down, she was a big fan of just playing that ride a few times. But anyway, back to leagues.
It's a lot of fun. That's the first league that I've ever been in, actually.
Oh, really? It's your first time? Okay.
First real league. And I think Gordon, he's undervaluing his product. It was, $20?
Totally agree. 20, it's, no. He did up the price this year to $25.
Oh, $25.
Deal of the century. You get to play 10 weeks, and then the best 5 scores of the 10 weeks is what counts. Yeah.
And you don't have to go every week if you can't make it. You just don't go.
Yep.
And I would 100%, Gordon, if you're watching this, I would pay $50 without even batting an eye.
Easy $50. And I would say, even if you said that 20 of that was going to the end of the league barbecue, which if you haven't experienced it, the last night of league is the only one you don't want to miss. There is food, there is snacks, there is drinks. We probably did a dozen closest to the pin contest where just everyone is all grouped up waiting for everyone to get done, and everyone's just throwing to a basket that someone keeps moving around the parking lot in the wooded area, and closest one wins something from the thing. Back them up, move it around, throw it again. And we just did that over and over and over again until everyone was done. It was awesome, yeah. So then Gordon does the payouts and stuff, which all the AM stuff is there right on hand. And Gordon's got awesome discs. Like, shout out to Waterloo for always ordering great Innova, great Discraft, great Dynamic. Always got good mint stuff there too. But like, Waterloo does it right. If I had one feedback... Well, if you had one feedback for it, what would
Mine would be, I wish they let us start earlier.
Yeah, earlier, sure. I'd be fine starting earlier. My one feedback would be, could we use technology? Can I use anything on my phone? Can we just, like, he already lets us use UDisc. Like, I don't think it costs anything to start a UDisc league where it would just keep everyone's stats. And like, then he could just reference everyone's scores right there. And if you still wanted to put everything in the spreadsheet, could still have all the same scoring. Like, and instead of having to go to a Facebook post or having to post a score on Facebook or turn in a paper card, he would just have a spreadsheet that was like readily available. I think they even export those into comma separated value.
And then you can see everybody.
Yeah, you could just
that would be the nice thing is you wouldn't have to wait till the next day or scan through the giant Facebook posts. I think that would be a nice thing to have as a UDisc. But then everybody would have to have UDisc. So I don't know. I still think
here's
one
the thing,
person on each card.
Here's the thing: not everyone has to have UDisc.
Yeah.
One person a card has to have UDisc.
Yeah.
That's, I think, not a lot to ask for.
My feedback on going early is there's 100 people in the league. We all start, and Zilker Park, we were talking on that earlier. It moves people pretty quick.
Yeah, but it does have its build backups. Yeah.
If you have 100 people starting at the same time, and there's still people.
Well, it's not the same time. We always try to start first. It's actually, was it 4:30 to 5:30?
4:30, I think, to 5:30. Yeah, he has like an hour window.
Yeah, I mean, when we were turning the first 9, there was a lot of people I saw hadn't even started. So last week we beat Cheeks.
That was amazing. When we were the first ones out, that was amazing.
It's one of the fastest rounds I've ever played Zilker Park, period. Like,
just in general?
Just like we had zero back. There was never a hole. We walked up to the tee box and threw every time.
I got big props when I got home. I was home in time for Next Level Chef.
Oh, nice, very nice.
And
it's always good. It happens a lot where it goes the other way, but there is nothing better than like saying you're going to be home at like 7 and getting home at like 6:15. Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that I thought that I hated the most, I also potentially like the most, and it is kind of the fact that Gordon is like old school with everything. And I actually was really annoyed that you had to check in with him first before starting up. You're all signed up. Everybody knows what's happening. You should just be able to go. But there's something kind of cool about needing to like line up and like kind of get his permission to go. It's a little frustrating, but it also feels kind of cool and special. Like every time we go and play is special.
Yeah, I think we get spoiled a little bit on like flex starts type stuff. That just had, that's another thing that like, I don't want to say like, I feel like anytime you have feedback like this, the real answer is just do it yourself then if you could do it better. But like, if he did kind of set it up like a flex start where all you had to do is kind of check in on the app, it would probably make things a lot smoother to go. But what I think he does, and I think this is the part that like, again, has the charm of it, and I think it's the thing I like. I don't know if we're saying the same thing or not, Rigdon, but what it feels like to me is like, it makes it personal.
Yeah.
Like he gets to see everyone every week. He gets to like, he does mark down who's going out first, what card, plus it we get to go put out the closest to the pin thing. If you're the first, those type of things. I don't know. It's kind of like the part when they say disc golf's a community. It's like those little things that kind of make it true.
It's been really cool for me doing it, and I've been and we've talked about this before, a little bit of a tournament whore. I like to have rated rounds. I want to play, especially if I'm playing at Zilker. I feel like, oh man, and that they're not rated rounds.
No,
playing out there, but it's been a lot of fun. Also, if I start having a bad round, It's like, all right, well, today I'm going to run all of the shots I can for an ace.
Yeah, it's
because maybe I've got a couple of double bogeys and it's not going to be one of the 5.
I completely agree. Like grabbing a bogey or a double bogey, whatever, you don't go,
Mm-hmm.
oh, everything's lost. It's like, actually, I could either catch fire and it doesn't matter, or because Zilker, there's always a chance to like throw a bunch under the basket. But really, it's like, who cares? I'll throw as many as I can right at the basket. I'll have as much fun because this round won't matter and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, or I'm going to try some new stuff. Maybe I've been throwing a jackalope at one hole, and it's like, well, maybe if I got something else that turns over, I can throw it that one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try the old free tail. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with you guys.
Well, you mentioned being a tournament whore. When you started playing tournaments, you had to sign up. The first thing you have to do is sign up for a PDGA number, right?
Yeah.
When you sign up for a PDGA number, how long have you been playing disc golf?
I had been playing at that time for almost 9 years. Like I had, it was more of a drinking game.
But still, you've been playing for a while.
I knew what disc golf was.
Rigdon, what about you? How long have you been playing before you signed up for a PDGA number?
I had been playing for years, like just for fun, many years. But I knew exactly what was up with disc golf when I signed up. I had already been like kind of watching pros and stuff that, and watching some videos.
But it was like when you started
up.
competitively playing in PDGA tournaments, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably anomaly short because like that's kind of how I was introduced to disc golf, was like playing
right away.
Yeah, so like a couple months after I started playing disc golf, like I was playing in tournaments.
Okay.
But when you sign up for the PDGA, you kind of know what disc golf is, right? Like you're genuinely aware. Well, in this like week's edition of Nick's Disappointed in Disc Golf, the PDGA is so fucking clueless so much of the time that it's just it blows my fucking mind. And I'm tired of pussyfooting around like the fact that like the appearance is that no one knows what the fuck they're doing.
We are past fucking 5 minutes.
Apparently, like so like when you sign up for the PDGA number, you get this pamphlet. It is it's if I was making a bit about a basic ass fucking pamphlet, this is the thing I would tell a designer, like, hey, make it real dumb and like as if like a caveman who just learned to read came to discover disc golf for the first time, like, oh, what is disc golf? Hand them this, have this, hand it to Gronk, to Gronk, have Gronkowski read thing, play disc golf. You open this fucking thing up. How is disc golf played? Traditional golf, with its long and storied history, has gifted disc golf with much of our sports vocabulary. Both games are scored the same way. Simply count the number of strokes.
Man, it's
fucking
almost...
hell. What are we doing here? This whole thing is filled with this kind of bullshit. Nature is our field of play. No shit. You play it outside. Get the fuck out of here. It's played outside. Oh my God. And then this, they list the scoring app as the PDGA app. The fuck you do? No one uses the PDGA app unless you're forced to during a tournament. Everyone fucking uses UDisc, but because some fucking old white guy at the PDGA is mad at some other fucking white guy at UDisc, they don't fucking even tell that UDisc exists to a new disc golfer who doesn't know what putting is. You're telling someone what putting is, but you're not.
You want a hot take?
Here, just PDGA, be better. Be better.
I have a hot take on this one. They had AI make it because they knew
did
nobody
not.
was
AI
going to
would have been
read
better.
it.
AI is better than that. AI blindly would be better than that. Oh my God, that segment is sponsored by Trail Candy Disc Golf, for all your disc golf coverage needs. Commercial.
That was a beautiful rant.
we don't want to belabor this thing. On the back, Freeberg, you brought up a good point.
Ready to play? Start here.
Yeah, and then it goes, the very first check is locate a nearby course online by visiting pdga.com/course-directory. Let's fucking pull that motherfucker up right now. Record for motherfuckers broken from last week.
It's been a while since we've got Nick this fired up. Like,
the level of
this is the last time I stole his nerds, he got
innovation.
not even
grant.
this close to that mad.
All right, here we go.
Do you have an idea to help grow the sport? Learn about the PDGA Innovation Grant Program, getting things done together.
So we can give them some ideas, and they can give us
we're
a
applying
grant
for this
the
grant.
podcast. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're applying for this grant. Okay, so this is the course locator. Let's click near us.
Yeah.
Oh man, this looks like it works really well.
Well, yeah, I'm figuring it out on the fly. It's not terrible. It's terrible.
We just were immediately like, "Hey, Rigdon, do this thing."
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks.
Okay.
If it means anything, the PDGA website sucks, so there's no question that this sucks. I can't imagine this is any better on the phone. All right, click on it.
Boom.
Click on it.
Oh no.
It was established in 2012.
Is there a
What?
They have Dizcatcher Pro. What are
Okay, so this is a perfect example. No, this is how little people use this thing.
Yeah.
There are 2 reviews on Roy G. One from 2017, one from 2018. Because since then, everyone's fucking used UDisc.
thing?
Like, get over yourself, PDGA.
There's
like
not even anything about the update that.
No, this is absurd.
to the course from last
this
year.
is exactly what's wrong with disc golf. Is that like the things that actually need to help like support and grow the sport, like the infrastructure of the just how things get done, is actually what supports growth. Not selling a bunch of plastic. Infrastructure. Get your infrastructure together. One last thing, just because this is too funny not to mention before we move on, but the first time you play the first time you play, add to the fun by bringing a friend along. Disc golf can even be a fun date. Well, let me tell you this. You want to get a girl fucking dry and fucking bored real quick at a bar, start fucking talking about disc golf. Don't. If you hear someone talking about it, fucking find them, put them in a corner. You guys talk the rest of the night. That's cool. But don't, like, this is bad advice.
I think that this is a great thing that we can segue. We actually were at Zilker recently during our league, and there was a guy who had clearly brought a girl out there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a date with the dog. Didn't go well. I think we kind of heckled him off the course.
They were trying like multiple discs, and he was trying to teach her, and we had because there's 100 people.
There's literally a wave of 100 people coming behind this poor group of 2 that he was like trying to teach her on. They quit after 3 though. That was cool.
Yeah.
But then she came back. She lost her
driver's license.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, she lost her driver's license and her credit card, I think.
And she was in his car.
I don't fucking know.
Talking to all the
Who
guys.
cares?
Yeah.
So this past weekend we played some disc golf, but the pros played some disc golf as well. They had the DDO Open.
Big one.
What's that?
Big one.
Oh yes,
Big tournament.
Kind of a big one.
Fun one.
If it means anything, we could just be another segment of Nick's disappointment. Another disappointing fan draw. And honestly, like that course is so boring. Like,
it was not.
I couldn't have cared. Like, it was so not hard to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, commentator, again, coverage, always doing a great job. Big Germ in the booth doing live, great job, first time live. It was fun to see his like genuine excitement and reaction to things, because that is where I think he's at his best. Like, even as in his videos, like he's just genuinely like a good vibe, like happy-go-lucky guy. And when he's excited about something, it's kind of contagious. So watching him watch like shots go in from deep or like something chain out and see his actual emotional reaction, that's gold. They still need a Joe Buck in the booth. Still need Joe Buck. But like again,
Al Michaels.
Oh yeah, or now just someone who's the steady.
This is what's going on. This is where they are.
The captain.
This is what the par is. This is where the throw went.
Exactly. So
this is what the hole looks like.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of drama as ended up. My boy Vinny did pull out the victory in the MPO.
Dude, big time.
He went back to Savage Daddy. He didn't play safe at all. He did put away the forehand, I think, in the second round. I feel like he just stopped throwing it and kept with the backhand. But he made $9,000.
Yeah.
Isn't that hilarious?
You'd think that
and let's say he was just like working on a movie set for 3 days. That's about what you'd make. That's about what he makes for the week he was in Kansas. Is about what he'd, not as an extra, just like if you were like it's like, say you're like a camera assistant or like someone just not a PA, just a little above, just any crew member of any worth. It's about what you make. Yeah, that's for a week traveling. And he had to go win to make that.
That's I would love to see the pros make more money. You hear about how much they make in ball golf.
Well, here's why. You ready for it? Sponsors who pay a lot of money, like that's where a lot of the purse comes from. And you got to have people come to events. Like, hey,
you got to have people show up.
And again, I don't want to give freebies out. Set up a net, put a tech disc there, have someone standing there, see how fast you can throw a disc. Mm-hmm. Have a putting station set up with the putter, smaller one, tiny one. See, give an interactive thing to the event. Have it not just be disc golf. Here's the real, actual fact of watching disc golf live. You don't see a lot. Unless you have paid to be right behind the card, mm-hmm. or you're a scorekeeper or a linesman, you actually don't get to see a lot. It's more about like sort of being there in the vibe. And I tell you, the vibe kind of fucking sucks. Like it's crowded. There's not enough facilities. There's not good bathrooms. There's not really a lot of vendors. There's not like a lot of food. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing else fucking going on but disc golf that's kind of hard to watch. So if you're a general admission, I think I don't know how true it was at Sprinkle Valley. Half the course isn't even really available to you if you're just a general admission person.
What I thought they did really well during the DGWO, the one at Sprinkle Valley.
Okay. USW DGC.
My man. USW DGC. Was they did have other stuff to do. Like they had the Fly Mart, they had discs there, they had stuff to buy, but they also had Amy's ice cream. They had their own special beer for the event. They had
having at Austin Beer Works helped a lot, and having a few food vendors, huge help. The Fly Mart's always there, but the Fly Mart is the equivalent of a bunch of 10x10 tents set up with people with discs underneath set up. That is, I don't say there's not much more you can do with that. That's on the people setting up the Fly Mart. Mm-hmm. But even putting the Fly Mart in a way that like
engages.
Just imagine the Fly Mart being surrounded by those event things we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Imagine having some sort of music or other event that happens at the tail end of coverage, so into the evening. So like whether it is a local band and like some disc golfers open, like just something that keeps and has like a communal thing there. Having a barbecue truck show up, like what the fuck ever. Like figure out an actual event the way that a music festival figures out an event. I feel like they're figuring out the way like a shitty fucking carnival does it right now. Like let's get beyond like the fucking tilt-a-whirl and let's get a real fucking ride out there that people want to come to.
One of the things you mentioned last week were like, why isn't there an interview with the players before? And I just thought, and I don't know if we could do it but if we were to show up and set up a table and just be like, before you tee off, you want to come talk to us for a minute?
I think that's a little weird. I think it's a little weird to, like, as someone's getting their mind right and they're about to go tee off, that would be weird. But here's the part where it's, I don't think, super weird. There's always an area where you're warming up before you get to the tee box. Mm-hmm. I think before people get to their warm-up area, adjacent to the warm-up area, mm-hmm. in between warm-up and the tee box, those moments could be utilized. Now,
it doesn't have to be us.
No.
It would be cool.
And if the pushback is from fucking disc golfers that I don't want to talk to anyone about Bill fucking Belichick gives the press 2 seconds. You know what I mean? The Tiger Woods gives the press you can give 2 seconds before you go around on the course, even if it's just excited to play. Look forward to going out
there. The other thing, the players are the product. And they want more money. And
we've been saying it.
If that's the way to get them more money, I think most of them will be behind it. Most of them would love to to come out and be like, oh, I'm coming out. I'm having a good day. I'm feeling strong.
It can be baked into the
win.
event too. Like they have the press conference the day before. And so it'd just be one more thing on the player's schedule. They have the press conference that's like a 10-minute block for them to show up for. And then certain players have to show up for like an hour-long block to shoot like a feature.
The press conference? Say no more. No. Exactly what I'm saying.
But as a fan, that'd be a fun thing to.
It would be incredible. Yeah. And then there's a community that they come into every time, right? Have some people from the community like cover the community a little bit. Like you're in town a couple days before, you allow some of the staff and the people to play the course. That's awesome. Go out into the community, film a couple things, get a shot of like the favorite coffee shop or the pizza place everyone goes to, or the home of the world's biggest potato, whatever it is.
Well, and give the city a reason to want more disc golfers to come in. It's like, oh, we bring in.
I mean,
money.
Emporia, Kansas, probably not the one for that. Actually, that's where Masters is. I don't want to go now.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather go to Ledgestone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ledgestone's cool. For me, we have so much good stuff around here. It's hard for me to justify wanting to go.
I just want to go to a huge one. I have signed up for Ledgestone last year just because of like schedules I couldn't go, but I was so excited to go to a big A tier. But I'll be honest with you, like having done a couple A tiers here in town now, it's like I feel like I'm just I don't know, say building myself up, and not to be let down, but it was just be like I don't feel like it's gonna be any different. It's gonna be just new courses and like traveling.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. And are the courses going to be better? Like, I mean, you drew the line on Roy G last week. So,
what do you mean?
It's the best free course out there. Like, are any of those courses going to be better than Roy G?
Well, I'm flying into Charlotte. I guess what's today? Maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks. I fly into Charlotte and I have to drive down to Greenville, South Carolina, and I'm going to hit as many courses in Charlotte and Greenville, and like my whole route is just what courses can I play?
Yeah,
because it's just cheaper to fly into Charlotte and drive to Greenville than it is to like get a hopper into Greenville.
Hell yeah.
So the whole, and I don't say this is like how disc golfers go, but I feel like I don't feel like I'm uncommon in doing that, right? So like, would the travel portion be more rewarding for a tournament or to go like play with my friends and like have a great time? Yeah. And I feel like the latter's definitely the answer, right? A guy we all know, actually, Kenny Penny, I don't know if he's still doing it. If I had to guess, he is still doing it, but he had started a disc golf travel kind of company where like he would try to like commission groups that would like go to a certain disc golf area, and like he would like figure out like the Airbnb and like the travel. You'd basically just pay for your plane ticket, and like everything else was like figured out. Every course you're playing at, how you're getting to and from the course. I don't know anything else, but like basically disc golf, lodging, and it feels like that's like, I mean, as I say it, we're all shaking our head like that sounds awesome, right?
Yeah,
that sounds really cool. How do you like? I don't know. How does that? How can that help the sport in some of these like for the tournament? In this term, I guess what I'm trying to bring it back in is like Emporia is maybe not the best example, but like there's tons of courses that the pros weren't using in and around Emporia that are awesome to play. I can imagine traveling to some place where I could go to the tournament, play some courses, and kind of have a vacation with the buddies.
Well, I would totally watch if they put together like a little package about the city and about the other courses.
Oh, bring it back to coverage. Yeah. I'm with it. Yeah.
Coverage, or even because like when they were here last year for the Open at Austin, they did a skins match out at the ranch.
Yeah.
And so like maybe they have a couple of skins matches where they play the other courses in the area. I think that's all coverage that if they tied it in and put it together, I think that's all stuff that people would watch. I think. Well,
I mean, the skins match, those holes are like not much. Like some holes are like $50, $100. Like they're not playing for
they're not
a ton of money. Like we're already playing like this is already like a professional sport with like, I don't say they're professionally gambling, but they're all entering money. Like every golfer that we saw there on that leaderboard, they all paid whatever the $400, $350 it is to get into a pro tier event. Mm-hmm. Everyone forgets about that money. Like, how many people sign up for this? Could you scroll to the bottom? Like 107?
107, yeah.
Could you actually, this is maybe for another show, but like, what's the average price to sign up for a disc golf pro tour event? But on the coverage, thing I noticed on FPO, as if Daniel could look that up just real quick.
Yeah.
There was an incident in the playoff with Missy Gannon and someone who I have on my fantasy team.
We had some foot fault drama this weekend.
Yeah. Kind of gross.
Yeah, the playoff one was probably the bigger deal one, but there was also one with Natalie Ryan.
Yeah, Natalie Ryan seconded her own foot fault, cool thing to do, but hilariously, she called a foot fault on that same person that called it on her like a hole or two later. Which
I thought when she seconded her own, I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And then when she called it on the other guy, I was like,
But like, isn't that what you do? It's like, cool, we're calling foot faults now. This card wants to call. I stepped on mine. We're calling it. That's it. You stepped on yours. I'm going to call it on you. I mean, what else are you supposed to do in that situation?
I think you're right. I think once someone like breaches the thing, or like once a line has been crossed, I think the only thing you can do is have a like starch line in the sand, because there's no like, if you're gonna call me for a foot fault, cool. Gotta say cool. Guess what? I'm watching everyone's foot like a hawk. I might be recording it on my iPhone, so you can you can see it right here.
Foot faults are they're difficult for me. I played with a guy in MA3 once that he stepped on his disc every single time. And I guess I could have called it.
Did it give him any big advantage?
No. And so it didn't feel like it was worth it. Like if it was, I don't know. And I've talked about it. Like I get it. Like if I'm thinking about where my foot needs to go.
I bet he's thinking about too. And I'm with you. If it's going to give him advantage, I always think intention there. I know we've talked about foot faults a lot, so we don't need to necessarily dive too deep. But like the way that it was handled in the FPO decision in the playoff,
I'm sorry, yeah,
was kind of gross. It's so gross that like there's no way I can have her on my fantasy team. Like,
gonna drop her?
100%. I don't care if she's the best disc golfer on the planet.
And who is this?
Did you not see it with Haley King?
I just wanted you to say that.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, kind of don't want her to be on my fantasy team anymore, because I just don't like.
It's too much of a delay, right?
I just don't like. Don't me wrong. If you're gonna call a rule thing and it's a rule broken, call rule thing is rule broken. Like I'm not like some rebel who's like fuck the rules. But like Missy threw the shot.
Who's also on your team, which is what I thought. Don't you have Missy Ganning?
No.
Oh,
Trevor
has
Trevor's
got Missy.
Trevor's got money Missy. So she throws a shot. It flies through the air a few hundred feet. It hits the ground. It comes to rest. She picks up her bag. Everyone's moving up the fairway. And then Haley King says, foot fault. I'm pretty sure her caddy is the one that told her,
hey, call this.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't watch coverage, like Haley King just threw out of bounds.
Yeah.
She just threw away winning the tournament, essentially. We'll talk about the aggregate system they used here in a second, but like, long story short, like, it's not a good look. Like, it's a real bad look, and it's like the type of disc golf that's like.
Well, and then they reviewed it, and it was very clearly not a foot fault.
Not a foot fault.
Yeah.
Like,
disc was definitely out of her hand.
1,000%. Yeah. And I think sometimes, I don't know. I think sometimes like that's a good indication of like where your mental game is. And I don't feel like she was necessarily looking at it, but if how you're hoping to win is someone else fucking up, like you are fucked.
That's
like heads up, you're fucked.
That is,
you're not thinking about disc golf or golf in general, or maybe life in general. in the right way.
That is not barely stable, just be cool.
No, that's not being cool at all. Not the best look from her at all. The way they did the playoff, what did you think about that? Now there's two.
I am not. Before we get into the playoff,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I want to talk about my girl Emily Weatherman.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Before we get off that
she's
field, yeah, we
on
got you.
She's on my fantasy team.
She's your Texas, yeah. Yeah.
Player. I knew she was young and kind of up and coming, and she did good on the Texas swing. She did well. And I think this is her first year on the Pro Tour. Is that right?
I believe so.
She's 17, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know she played through the Texas swing, but this has got to be her first time on tour.
She came out and just crushed. Like to come out and immediately hang with, the best in the world like that.
Yeah.
Is incredible. You look at that -4 is it's
I mean, she's playing with people 50 points above her rating, and she shot 975, 981, 991. So she shot better every round.
She almost won the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be
She
real. She
could've-
almost won.
She
I
was
mean,
in
if
the-
that out of bounds is probably the one that messed her up, right? That one out of bounds call. I mean, a million things can lead to one stroke,
Yeah.
but like she would have been in the playoff with them had that OB just gone her way.
Yeah.
Which that's another way that we can be better. PDGA, be better. Stop using painted lines as a definition for in and out. Painted lines don't work. Painted lines on grass are stupid. Stop being stupid. Put lines down. Little post,
String.
string. Little post, string. I can only imagine this costs 20s of 40s of dollars to go and do
the whole
this.
course.
Like the whole fucking course. Like what's a spool of string cost?
like $8.
1,000. I know. Like, and little, I mean, what are we talking about here? Like you're already flagging most of it, right?
Did
You can literally go flag to flag with the string.
little
Like,
off subject. Did you see the guy on the 4th that he was fully dressed as a Jedi and he had the red and green
The
lights?
spot-
oh, the
Yeah,
lightsaber.
yeah.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. Pretty
good.
awesome. That
Like,
was.
I saw that and I was like, never change disc golf.
I
Never
know.
change.
Do you notice the opener when you guys are saying MFer a lot and you did Samuel Jackson posted on May the 4th.
Amazing. We didn't even plan that.
Didn't even
That's when
plan
you
that.
know we're doing something right.
That's when you know the force is with you.
The force is with us.
So they did. To the playoff. So Emily Weatherman would have been in the playoff, and they had a different playoff system than we normally see. Now, there's two types, and I don't know all the times the aggregate systems used, but sudden death is what we're normally used to, where they go one hole, then another hole, and then as soon as someone beats the other person or persons, that's the winner. Aggregate is played a little differently. There is typically 3 holes that will either be repeated or played, and then another 3, and then another 3. But you play all 3 holes as another tiny round of disc golf. So you don't like that?
I don't like it.
Yeah,
it's like the NCAA, the college play, the tie.
Not really.
breakers.
What it
Okay.
does though is it takes, instead of putting it all on one hole, it makes you, and I think this is what they did in Emporia here, is they took 3 holes that required 3 different types of shot. None of them were all an advantage for a bomber or someone who's forehand heavy or backhand heavy. I kind of like that because if, like, let's say you and I went to a playoff and we had to go to something that was a 320-foot dog leg to the right.
Yeah.
I have got to throw a forehand as hard as I can perfectly to hopefully get
Just my
a disc
standard
to go there.
backhand is.
You just have to go throw
As a
it.
lefty. Yeah.
That is kind of, now flip the hole around. That would be kind of unfair to you. If I made you throw a right to left shot, 325 feet, like that, I don't think that necessarily settles a playoff. So like the aggregate system kind of has its advantages.
What I would like to see, and I always want something crazy probably, but I would like them to be like, hey, hole 6 is going to be the playoff hole.
Oh, that's how they did it. They picked their 3 good holes.
No, just one.
Oh, one. Okay.
It's sudden death. So if you're in a playoff, go practice this hole. And if it's a hard one for a lefty, then It's a hard one for a lefty. Like, beat them before you get into the playoff.
And that's what they do now on Sudden Death is they know ahead of time what Sudden Death is going to be. So I'm sure there are some players that think about that ahead of time. Hey, if I end up in Sudden Death, let me maybe practice these holes a couple more. But my take on this is very clear.
Okay.
Sudden Death is way more exciting and way less fair.
Okay.
That's just the fact.
Completely
And
agree.
Aggregate is way more fair and way less exciting.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Do you want something that's more fair? These people played multiple rounds and it's all going to come down to just maybe one bad shot. That's not fair, but it's way less exciting if you kind of give them a chance to claw back.
I've got an answer for you.
Let's hear it.
Majors, Aggregate. There's only 4 of those a year.
Yeah.
That's how you can settle those, because those mean a lot. Those 4 majors, especially Worlds.
Okay.
And you're doing 4 rounds to get there too. So
Exactly.
even more so,
Yeah.
play a couple holes instead of Sudden Death.
Okay.
And then those 3 holes should be the 3 signature holes on the course, like Maple Hill, just for example, like that type of shot.
Sure.
I can get behind that.
And then I am with you. I think the excitement and for coverage is in Sudden Death.
Yeah.
And that is super fun.
I prefer the excitement. Well, and the other thing is like if you're watching disc golf on the weekend and you've been watching disc golf all fucking weekend, sometimes when it gets down to the end, it's like, just finish.
Yeah.
'Cause I wanna go play.
Yeah, that's the truth. And especially when it's, I don't say when it's dragging, but like if the coverage did have one note, which again, doing a great job on coverage. If there's one note though
Happy
on
with the
coverage, is that like in times of slower events happening on the card you're featuring on, having a couple of like things you can go to that aren't necessarily in real time, like having like if one group is like I think they already monitor one hole, there's like a highlight cam like on a feature hole.
Yeah.
There should be someone just clipping the highlights from that where they can just like, and I know they do that a little bit, but it feels like, especially down the stretch, for some reason they just stay with coverage, and it's like what do we, and it makes it feel like it makes the last 20 minutes feel like I actually know how it feels. You know when you're watching a football game and your wife goes, or a girlfriend, or what, they go, how much time left is the game? You go, about 2 minutes.
2 minutes and
45
8 seconds.
minutes.
Yeah. And that is like 6 possessions.
2 minutes, 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. And
This game is stupid.
I do want to say, Freeberg, though, on paper, I would not have agreed with your take that you're just done with disc golf and you just want sudden death, because I typically, even though I'll watch a lot of pro disc golf, I want more. So on paper in my head, I would have argued with you and been like, no, give me
More
3
disc golf
holes, give me
better.
4, like let's keep going.
So-
But I actually watched it, and after the first hole, I was kind of like, oh man, and there's time in between. I was ready for it to
It's
be
still
over.
not over.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
But, and it makes it worse when you got some turd calling a non-existent foot fault, right? Like,
I just,
yes,
for the record,
circle about Freeberg.
never call. I never called anyone a turd. Shout out Women's Month. There is. Is it not? Is it not? I thought it was.
It's Turd Month. It's National Turd Month.
Excellent. So, as we were saying,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's okay. We're still here. Are we still doing the podcast?
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to take a quick break?
We should. Who do we have a sponsor? Oh, that's right. We always have a sponsor, Sector Disc Golf.
Yeah.
Let's hear a fucking ad from them or something.
Let's go, Sector.
Everyone loves the feeling of stepping up to the tee pad.
I was not trying to say that women are turds there. That was not that. Damn it. Good enough.
I mean, a turd can be any person of any sex.
There
color,
are some women that are
race, or
turds,
creed.
but like men are turds too.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's a turd. But
And everybody's turds now.
Everyone loves the feeling of stepping up to the tee pad and reaching for your favorite disc. Imagine if every disc in your bag felt like your favorite. Introducing Sector Disc Golf's revolutionary technology. Approved by the PDGA in 2023, players choose their grip, then choose their rim, and throw with confidence. Available exclusively online at nshcustoms.com. Sector Disc Golf, Austin, Texas.
Okay, welcome back to the Barely Stable podcast. We're at one more short segment we're going to talk about here this week.
Yeah.
And
Got all the turds worked out.
Shout out to all the strong and independent and smart, beautiful women
Powerful.
out there that are not turds. Rigdon. Yikes.
I'm cutting all of this. It's all getting cut.
Okay. Welcome back to the Barely Stable podcast. We have one more thing we're going to talk about this week, and that is something that we've seen on the internet called the AM scam.
The AM scam.
It's very popular on Reddit. The subreddit is ablaze with the AM scam lately, and it feels like a lot of shouting is happening about it, but no one really just kind of lays out like what the reality of like maybe what the AM scam is in disc golf. Now, this is for people who sign up for disc golf tournaments using primarily the disc golf scene and play like a sanctioned event, many unsanctioned events too, but mostly sanctioned amateur events is what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. I would also say, before I say any of this, if you have a problem with any of this, the easy solution is to go play open and try to cash.
Yeah.
So there's
Can't
no
be AM scammed if you ain't no AM.
Exactly. So there's a very easy solution, and if you need anything, I think everyone should be working towards that end eventually. Anyway, I feel like at any point we're all just going to jump off this ledge and go do that anyway. But we'll save that discussion for another day.
That's the best way to increase the pot for MPO is if everybody.
Yes,
plays
everyone plays. That is actually that's a great. That's easy numbers. Yeah. But so the AM scam. So essentially, let's make up you actually made up a fictitious disc golf company, Bat City Disc, right?
Yeah.
So Bat City Discs, we'll say, bink, is the fake disc golf company, Bat City Discs. Okay. Let's say Bat City Discs sponsors or runs disc golf tournaments. Okay. Let's say those tournaments cost, I don't know, what's a B tier or C tier? $50.
$50 to $75.
So let's say $50 for a C tier, right? That's a normal 45, $50
or two round.
What's like a normal one round C tier cost?
Actually, those are probably 40, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say 50.
Let's call it $50, easy number. If it's 40, just figure that out, minus 10.
It's a fake company anyway.
Right, so we're just making shit up.
Yeah,
this is completely fictitious, hypothetical, has no bearing to reality. So Bat City Discs runs a tournament and
costs $50.
And we'll start at the start. The C tier, we'll do like an A tier to kind of bracket in like how this kind of gets built in. So like they offer a what do you call it? The player pack. That's the first part of the scam. There's like two parts of it. The player pack, let's say on a small tournament like that, you would get like a disc, right? Or an equivalent of a $25 disc, let's say. Now, what they tell you is a $25 disc and goes in as part of your $25 entry fee actually only cost them $12 at most. But if you're the disc golf manufacturer, more like $8, $6, maybe even less.
When I worked at
Disc Nation,
which
how much? What was the average per disc cost?
Generally, their margin was going to be about 50%.
50%, right? So
it was about.
So
if you were paying 25, it was $12.50.
So worst case, it's $12.50. But since it's the Bat City Discs. It's probably more like $8 or $10.
Yeah,
I would, the actual cost, since they don't make their own discs in this fictitious world. If another company had to make them for them, since they're probably a smaller company.
No, Bat City Discs was the real deal, man.
So if they have their own manufacturing, they're getting discs for like $2 or $3 a piece.
Yeah.
Like Discraft, you're printing a disc for $2.
Yeah.
Like once the mold's made and paid for, obviously. But long story short, so the savings right there, or what they've retained from the retail cost that you've paid in your...
We're saying $20.
Right.
The math easy. It would cost them $5.
Right. But what we're saying is, so they've made now $12 to $15 of income on that disc and has sold the disc. So you play your tournament, you have a great time, and let's say you're lucky enough to cash in the tournament. And let's say you've cashed, let's say Freeberg, you won the tournament, and you cashed $100 in cash. Now, all that $100 in payout has come from the buy-in of everyone collectively, right? So, like, all 100 of us that paid $40, all of that, a portion of each $40 went to payout.
I didn't sign up for that tournament.
Oh,
So not Rigdon. So-
Rigdon.
Yeah, it was just
right.
you suckers.
That was one of
I'm
those
too
ones
smart for
where-
this shit.
Yeah.
So everyone that signed up had a portion of their buy-in going to payout, right?
Yeah.
So the payout, you go to their table where the same disc you got for your paying
It's $25 out of my
right, but now you can go
reward.
buy, let's say, 5 discs for $20 a piece from their payout. Now, again, they got those 5 discs at cost.
Yep.
So they're making the margin again on the payout.
Yep.
So that all the payout, let's say the entire tournament's payout is just say $1,000. It may look like a zero out on the because everyone's paid in that much payout, but really they've made the margin on that $1,000. So like you said, Disc Nation at least 50%, right?
Yeah.
That's all retail. Like if you're not making 50% on retail, like you're going out of business. That's just kind of business 101.
Yeah. Well, and that's why it's hard to maintain a disc golf stores because the margins aren't great.
I completely agree. The I don't know if brick and mortar, like branded brick and mortar, like I think Another Round doing like franchise situations has a high potential, but I don't know if a lot of mom and pops type brick and mortar things make sense.
Yeah, math
Unless
isn't
you're
really there.
laundering money.
Yeah.
Great
That's
place to
a lot-
launder
it's a
money.
good
Check out
money
Ozark,
place.
Netflix,
Yeah.
season 2, pretty good. So that back to the AM scam. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's all right. It's
so the margins that are being made there on the merchandise and payout is what people refer to as the AM scam. Is it truly a scam? I don't feel comfortable calling it like a scam because but it is a little deceptive, it feels like, to people who don't really know how the money's flowing.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, like, let's say for like a larger A tier or whatever, in each one of those, like what it costs to play in the tournament, your entry fee, you're paying for course fees, you're paying for
They're
parking,
passing all
you're-
the fees
like
on.
so all the
Yeah.
costs are kind of getting passed on. Like I don't know. You can like do the deduction, I guess, yourself, but like as you look at the actual numbers, like the AM scam isn't necessarily quote unquote scamming people. They're just you're engaging in retail. It's like it's like essentially you're going shopping for the entry fee, and whether or not you come home with anything you've shopped is how well you've played.
Yeah.
Now you could just win your entry fee, which would be like the bottom of cash essentially, and just come home with a couple discs, or you could play your heart out and come home with, a couple $100 worth of discs in a bigger tournament. That's, I think, a better mental approach to what's happening rather than this like, I don't know. I think the AM scam comes more with like how you're looking at it than like what's actually happening. Because all that's actually happening is like,
And
Go ahead.
as AMs, I think we're the ones bringing the money to these tournament directors. Like, because AMs don't require any guaranteed cash. We're,
well, that's kind of what they. I think that's kind of what the insinuation of the AM
it's
scam
just
is that like the amateurs are the one who
Yeah.
sort of fuel.
we're the ones bringing in all, and that's why, because you look at a lot of tournaments, like, and you want them. I would like to see the AMs be taken care of sometimes before maybe the pros.
It is funny sometimes
So-
if there's like a pool of like 100 AMs and like 20 pros, but the MPO division gets for some reason like.
The
I mean, I
preferential
get it.
treatment.
And I would say preferential because, like, I do think they should go outlast and things like that. Like, there's a reason for the order
Oh
operations.
yeah.
But it does seem odd to tailor to a smaller group of
Yeah.
people, I guess.
If the
just in
25
general.
pros are getting, say, the 3 better courses in a 3 round tournament, and then the 200 or 400 AMs.
I think, you know what? I know what you're referencing there with Kodo, but I think looking at it, the reality is like, if you're in the amateur division, like you're playing the amateur courses.
Yeah.
And like, even like my good friend Michael, he plays MA1, and the only reason he plays MA1 is because his first tournament, his buddy who played disc golf with him signed up MA1, so he signed up MA1, and he just never signed up anything else.
Never went
He's
down.
got the shit kicked out of him for years, and then now is like
That's good.
top end MA1, like looking to go to MPO. But his description of MA1 is the same description we have of MA2, and it's the same description we had of MA3, that it's kind of a shit show. There's a few people that kind of hover around the top. The middle's very much everyone is open for the middle, and then like the guys who I don't say don't belong, but are just hedging their way up are filling out the bottom. It feels like the same in every division. So like, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I think it's been pretty interesting this year.
Should I say I don't know one more time?
Yes.
Cool.
Is watching all the homies, because we've all kind of moved to MA2 now. You know what I mean? So I was looking at MA3 and like no free shout out to my buddy Ty, who plays MA3. He's like, well, if you guys are playing MA3, I can't beat you guys. And it's like now this year with all of us moving to MA2, it's like, maybe you got a shot, buddy. Like,
well, didn't you feel that last year, like playing in MA3, like as some people like were out of the division, shout out Colton Lawless's 13 or 12-year-old ass or whatever, his little motherfucker. Shout out, just kidding, buddy. You were awesome and you're slay at disc golf.
Speaking
This
of
is
turds.
it's all inside of me. But it was nice seeing like guys that were dominating the top of your division move on to the next division. And it does feel good to like play out of a division and be playing into it. It feels good. And I think who said it the best here? I think it was when Jacob was on Goose, when he mentioned like if you want to play better disc golf, play with better disc golfers. Like that's the only way to do it. And like
Nate said that too.
Nate said it too. Yeah, I think Nate said it better.
Yeah. But Goose did this, but they're both MA1, and that's kind of how they did it. So
yeah. So anyway, that's what the fuck they call the AM scam. Call it a scam if you want, but it's just how tournament directors fucking make money. And
next time we have a tournament director on here, we are for sure going to grill them about it. So,
I mean, I guess, but probably not. Like, what do you say? Like, what do you like? Do we tell them like, "Hey, don't you make any money"?
Well, and
like, I don't know.
I think we just asked, "Do you have any thoughts on the M scam?"
Well, what would they say? Like, here, okay, I'll be the tournament director. I ran a tournament before. I have done the exact same thing. Grill me.
What do you think about the AM scam going around on Reddit right now?
I kept my margins as low as possible, and I always brought a bunch of snacks, and we gave away a bunch of discs outside of the tournament, like necessity, so that we were always kind of net zero. So I don't know, man.
So you don't
dumb
really think
question.
it's that big a deal?
Next question. What's
All
that?
right, moving
I'm
on.
just kidding.
Thanks for coming in today.
I'm just kidding. Now, what I'm saying is like, all they would say, like, what would someone say? Like, actually, yeah, I make thousands of dollars. I buy tons of fucking sweet.
I think it'd be nice to hear from
Get their perspective.
from their perspective, because I think that's effectively that's how they make money. Like, I don't think we should call it. I don't think it should be a scam personally, but I do think that
That's kind of what I mean. Like, I don't
more transparency.
I think we asked Chrissy and Goose about it. I think both of them were pretty upfront with how they go about doing it. And I don't say it was shitting on the AM scam, but like I don't think the AM scam needs more momentum or more like fuel, because it feels like it's just people bitching.
It is fun to say though, right?
AM scam. It does have a good
AM scam.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have beat that one to death.
We might be delusional. Am I tired?
It's a little warm in here today. Hey, Team Potato.
It is warm in here today.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been a wonderful Tuesday.
Can we cut to Rigdon real quick? What's that?
Rigdon's getting the
Wrap it up, boys. I want to take a nap.
He's been doing that for like
Wrap it up, B.
25 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be off next week.
Right, so this will be the last video we have for 2 weeks, but we'll be back for the week before Capital of Texas Open.
Correct.
And we'll...
No, the week after Capital.
Oh, the week at, that's what I meant. And then we'll do complete follow-up and wrap-up of that. And Rigdon is going to have a big special surprise for everyone when he comes back from his vacation. So make sure you stick around for that.
I'm the only one not going on vacation. You guys are going on vacation.
He said he was going to do the thing.
No, the thing? Oh, okay. We are going to have more snake stuff coming up pretty soon.
Oh yeah, so shout out
really
Snakes. Rigdon's been editing, and then I think Freeberg's going to a snake museum.
Going to go into the snake farm. Snake farm. It's going to be so cool. I'm wondering how long Rigdon can do this Before his arms get tired.
So there's the Tiger King,
Yeah.
and now we have the Snake.
Master.
What's a good onomatopoeia? What's a snake? The snake, snake supreme.
Snake sorcerer. I don't know.
We'll call him the Snake Guy for now.
Snake Guy.
So from the Snake Guy, Mr. Rigdon, and me, thanks for tuning in to Barely Stable, episode 18 from here in Austin, Texas. Until next time.
We did it, guys. Just be cool.
Pull up to the disc off course, we ready to go. Got my crew all strapped up with this in tow. Ain't about that off with clubs and a team. We bout to show 'em how to throw with accuracy. Sliding on the fairway, feeling so fly. Give me that disc, watch me let it fly high. Like a bird in the sky, it's gliding so smooth. Can't nobody stop us, we on that disc golf groove. Going for Barr, we going hard. Ain't no bogeys, we playing like stars. Shooting at this, watch it fly so far. We kings of the course, shining like stars.